The Sunflower Experiment is a South African band that gives out beautiful energies on stage. They are an ancestral sound deeply rooted to their African authentic music that moves you through this stage. Of course, an organized chaos, they call themselves, that has influenced and inspired a culture of self knowing, understanding, and independence revolution. They have recently returned from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania after having participated in the Marafiki Conference and Music Festival. On the 29th of October 2023, they'll be launching and performing in Brixton to launch their new album. And of course, naturally, you are invited and here to chat to us about all these Sankla experiences. Kofifi FM, please help me welcome Tebogo Mkhize to the K-Jazz Show. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you? How are you? How are you, people? Thank
Oh
you very
man,
much.
happy Sunday. I'm fantastic. I'm really am. Of course, it's one of those exciting shows that you are now officially on the K-Jazz Show. And thank you for joining us. I
Very
wanted,
much so.
to take a moment and reflect on the journey, the Sankla journey as a collective. I mean, you first arrived onto the scene. That was in 2014, a five-piece band called the Sankla Experiment, who are an
Right.
ancestral spiritual avant-garde ensemble. Long
Yeah.
title, but let's go back to those early days and reflect on some of those highlights.
In the early days, it wasn't always like a five-piece. We it was many of us. We started as an eight-piece. We evolved. We became seven-piece, six, five. You know what I mean? So in the early days when we started, we were inspired by the fusion of the music between Sun Ra and Ndikho Xaba. So when you listen to those names, there's Sun Ra, there's Sun, and then there's Xaba for Ndikho Xaba. So what we did, back we were still making beats, we're still in that process of making beats, me and my brother. So ultimately that kind of led into a very distinctive, fusion of sound. And we were, even impressed to know that the two have met before in some past life. They've met before, they've played together. I think
Yeah.
Ndikho Xaba has also played with Sandra's Arkestra. So that alone, just to see that connection, but we were not even aware of it. Like, we were just playing the music. So we were able to identify something similar between the two musicians and who are both pianists. So, and that became like the connection to it. Mind you, we are still making beats at this process. It's just like, we were being influenced by hip hop at that time. So,
Yeah.
and as it grows, as it goes, the more deeper, the deeper the rabbit hole, the more amazing things we find, you know what I mean? And the more we discover ourselves in the process. Now we are picking up instruments. Now we are playing. This is 2014. Now we are playing instruments. Now we are getting to the live sound, you know what I mean? And so that connection, gave us a lot of confidence within ourselves. And, to also realize that the word
Mm.
in Khoisan language is means out. So in actual fact, the sun is out. So that's what we bring. So that kind of gave us an identity. Imagine from just learning about Ndikho Xaba and Sun Ra and the connection to
Yeah.
learning that also means out in Khoisan language. So that also gave us identity. It's a very interesting
Wow.
story. So how it
Wow.
all comes together,
Yeah.
and throughout the time, throughout all of that experience, we've had different sounds, different experiments with the sounds.
Yeah.
Also, like pay attention to our last name, experiment. So
Mm.
we've always experimented with different sounds everywhere, even when we were an eight-piece to being a seven-piece. In our first album, we were a seven-piece. Now we are working on our second album. It's about to come out. We are a five-piece. So the sound is different. The approach is different. The message is different.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the message and the source is one. So I think,
And we're going to get into the different sound and how this new project is going to sound in the latest part of this conversation. But I think one of the biggest highlights for your ensemble was, your appearance at the Marafiki Conference and Music Festival in Dar. How did that come
yes.
about?
Whoa, that is, when the universe prepares you for something, you just need to answer the call. So our PR, like God willing, she played a very major role in this. So she actually connected the thing. Like we didn't even know about Dar es Salaam. We didn't even know about Marafiki Festival. I meant to say. So we contact people, we speak to people, we see whatever that's out there, and then I guess the way we spoke with them kind of like, made them realize like, yo, we gotta have these people. We need to have them. So that opened up a very big portal for us. Like truly speaking, we were able to connect outside of our own comfort spaces, outside of our own. This was the first time we actually left the country, like to go outside. So it's a very big experience for us. It's a very humbling experience because we've met very brilliant minds, very brilliant people. We've made connections. We've had conversations that are very important and very vital as young Black musicians from Africa. So that, to me, was just a very good experience. It was a very humbling experience at that too. So, I mean, it gave us a chance to expand our reach. You know, we were able to play for, you know, a different region and a different demographic of people. So that gave us a lot of, you know, confidence too, you know. So it's a very good time and a very good space.
I mean, a beautiful town, a beautiful city, I beg your pardon, and a wonderful country. East Africa is just a gem, you know. One of my favorite places as well, of course, on the continent. You know, we're celebrating the best of Africans by Africans here on Kofifi FM. This is our Africa, and we're talking to Tebogo Mkhize. He is a bassist and vocalist for the Sandla Experiment, and we're talking everything Marifiki Conference, which is a recent conference that they were part of in East Africa, in Tanzania. And of course, they introduced their different, you know, sound to a new market and a new understanding, meeting different people, and of course, sharing this beauty thing called music. And you know, as a collective, you define your sound as ancestral, spiritual, avant-garde. What does that mean?
It means you are allowed to tap in to a different frequency as a medium or as a human being. So when we play our music, we regard it as a prayer. We tap into a spiritual space. Even from the first album, that was our mandate. Our mandate was to open up a very potent spiritual portal, you know, so that we are able to transcend beyond sound. So our music is not, you know, we always think of it as not just entertainment only, but like there's a message to it and there's a feeling it comes with. You know, every time when we play, this is no joke. Someone must come to us and say something about them connecting or them healing or something without us even asking. You know, it draws people in. So the spiritual avant-garde comes in that sense because when we play, it's like an abstract art piece. So you never know what the colors say, but there's something, it takes you somewhere. You know, there's no resolution. You just end up somewhere, but at a right and a very safe place. You know, so that's what it is. When we play, that's how we even when we paint on stage, like it's that's how it looks. It looks so abstract, but it's so potent and it's pure. And it pulls you in, it draws you in. Right before we even start a song on stage, you already see something, you feel a certain way. Not really uncomfortable, but you feel something is shaking. So your spirit connects somewhere. So that's why we always say it's spiritual music. You know, in essence, it's just world music, but you know, it is rooted in spirituality because when we start, our songs are basically, the whole point is just to connect.
Wow.
Yes, that's it.
And connect we do. And I think with all the different markings that you guys have on your body, that's already storytelling, you know, as you know, what we're about to experience is indeed an incredibly brand new vibe. Now, you know, there's 5 of you, you know, in the ensemble now. And I want to talk about the creative chemistry, you know, who writes the music, who comes up with the melodies, and etc. And how do you bring it all together? You know, it must be a very interesting experience.
It is. You know, every song of Sandla, every song that we've ever created together, nobody ever comes with an idea and says, "Hey guys, I have the song, it's on this key, F major, whatever." You know, we don't start with the technicalities first. It starts as a jam. Maybe the percussionist will be jamming a certain rhythm, and then I play the bass, and now something just wakes up in me and says, "Oh, okay, let me just play something." The guitarist, it's a matter of communication. Okay, guitar man, I'm on G major, just play something along, and then he'll just pick it up immediately. And then she will just hear something. Oh, okay. If it connects very well, if the timing is perfect, someone is usually recording with their phone. So that's how it usually comes out. And then tomorrow when we come back for the next rehearsal, we go back to that song again. Hey guys, let's play the song again. And then now we find time to arrange it, open it up, you know, make it much more wider, and you know, so it's never a planned process. It's always a mutual connection. Everybody brings their own magic, so it's always something that we always feed off each other energy wise. We can immediately tell if one of us is not okay without even them saying anything. You know, we spend so much time together, like even when we're not rehearsing. We
Wow.
rehearse a lot, even when
Wow.
there's no booking, even there's no show, we keep rehearsing so that we stay ready. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
alone just keeps us connected more. So it's easier to just create anything at any given moment. You know what I mean?
I
So yeah,
love
that's how
that.
most of these songs come out. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Now, you have a brand new project out and it launches on the 29th of October in Brixton, but before we get into the part of things, or that part of things anyway, let's talk about, the project itself. What are we talking
Yeah.
about? Which stories are we telling this time? And do we have a name for this album yet?
The album is self-titled. It's Sankla Experiment. So the main purpose of that was it's more of a redefinition. Like we are redefining who we are and what we are bringing. And the message this time is love. The message is entirely love. That's what breaks everything down. It's love and how we connect. The first album, we were opening up a spiritual portal, more like a prayer. Now that we've prayed and now our prayers are being answered. Now the idea is to result everything in the name of love. So now we're just bringing back love. Like you say, the single, the single is called Buyisa Utando. So it's Buyisa Utando, right now the world needs love more than anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot that has happened. The whole world has shifted ever since COVID-19 and even after the aftermath of it. So there's a lot that we are trying to adjust to as a population or as a community in the world. So love is the basis of it. Love is the foundation. So that's what we connect with. So those are the vibrations we're bringing now with the new album.
Yeah.
Love of self, love of humanity, love of your neighbor, love of your fellow man. Like currently there's a lot going on, there's a lot at stake, but I think love will be the solution of everything. Love of your fellow man, love of everything around you. So I think if we approach each other with love, maybe the dynamics will change. Maybe the narrative will change. Love of your fellow younger brother, your younger sister, how we share knowledge, each one teach one. I think if we should go back to those basic essences, maybe everything will make sense again. Yeah. So that's the basis of the album. Those are the messages we are trying to bring.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, from your lips to the universe, as we
Yes.
talk about, what's currently happening around us and how, everything is just so crazy. Some has even said, this world is drunk and the people are mad, and I tend to lean towards that at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kofifi FM, we're wrapping things up here with Tebogo Mkhize. He is part of the Sankla Experiment and they have a brand new project out and they would like to invite you to come through, and see them live on the 29th of October in Brixton. Let's talk about this launch event now. Where are you staging it? And how do we become part of the celebrations, ushering this new season, the new Sankla season?
Yes, we're launching it in Johannesburg in Brixton, at a place called Breeze Blocks. Yes, Breeze Blocks. So the whole concept is Sunday lunch with Sankla Experiment at Breeze Block. It's limited to 100 people, so you need to act quick. You need to be as fast as you can so that you can get your seat. But I'm not saying after that nobody else will be allowed. We don't know how it works, but I think anybody is welcome. Anybody can come. So that's the whole idea. The album will be there. I'm hoping at that time we will have copies for the album because the plan was to have copies to be available on the day. You know what I mean? Because this is a new album, this is a new sound, and I'm pretty sure people will want to leave with something going home. So when everything unfolds and and I throw it to the universe, we will, we shall have copies as well available for the album on the day of the launch.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be happening. It's in Johannesburg on the 29th of October. So
excellent.
yeah.
And of course, if you missed any of that, we'll be sharing this on our social media pages as the KJazz Show. Reach out and you'll definitely have that flyer there. We'll be redirecting you to where you need to be on the 29th of October 2023. Of course, he did mention that hopefully we will have copies of this music. However, if we don't, where do we get in touch with you to get these copies?
You can find us on Facebook. There's a page, The Sankla Experiment. On Instagram, you find us San_Kla_Experiment 5. Or you can just type Sankla Experiment 5. You'll find us on Instagram. And yeah, send us a message. We can talk, communicate. We are very responsive quickly. Yeah, we always respond on time. So we're always available. So you'll find us on social media. Yeah, those are the platforms you can find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Debza, for joining us this Sunday. And of course, we look forward to being part of the launch that is taking place later in the month. And we wrap up this conversation with music from your brand new project, self-titled The Sankla Experiment, and
Yes.
something called Buisutand of that project.
Thank you very much for having us.
Absolutely. He is Tebogo Mkhize. He is a vocalist, including bassist for the Sankla Experiment, and he was on the K-Jazz show.
Why?